Welcome back to Law and Crime, everybody. Now, we're going to take a change here. My question to you is, who doesn't like a little self-promotion? I know I sure do. Did you know that I am a co-host on a podcast here on Law and Crime called Guys Who Law? And joining us right now is my co-host, Andrew Eisbrouch.
We usually keep me off camera for the listener's sake, but now they might not watch our podcast or listen to our podcast that I'm on camera.
They're looking at you, and they're judging.
They're judging hard.
We better do a good job.
Usually it's just my voice. They're not seeing this.
I know. Now they're getting the full picture. All right. So what Andrew and I are going to do is we're going to talk about some of the topics. One of them we're actually talking about in our podcast this week. First up, how many of you out there heard about this story about a Border Patrol agent named Dennis Dickey who shot a package of colored explosives at a gender reveal party? He wanted to reveal the gender of his baby, and things didn't end up so well. It ended up in the Sawmill fire. It began on April 23rd, 2017. It scorched 45,000 acres of land and cost more than $8 million in damages and firefighting costs. He pled guilty to a misdemeanor violation and agreed to pay $100,000 plus an additional $500 a month for 20 years towards restitution of up to $8 million. This is pretty crazy. Now, if you haven't seen it, let's show it to you right now. And it's a boy. Andrew, would you have done this at your gender reveal party?
So gender reveal parties have become a huge thing lately. They started off as just being cake, a balloon, you're throwing a baseball that has some powder in it, and then if it's blue, it's a boy, if it's pink, it's a girl. But now they're getting a little bit more intense. So this Border Patrol agent had a target filled with a substance called tanneride that he shot, and when you shoot it, it explodes. So I would not have necessarily done this, and I don't really understand how this was just a misdemeanor.
Yeah, I think because he turned himself in, and like if he killed someone, if someone got injured, it might have been a different story. My whole thing is like, this isn't how I would reveal my baby. My baby would be like Simba. I'd carry that baby out. That's how I would reveal my child. Wouldn't you? You wouldn't do that. Yeah,
I mean, I would probably keep it more private, or wait to be surprised. But this guy is probably really regretting now that he made a big deal out of it.
I just think gender reveal parties just shed a light on them and said, we shouldn't do them.
Yeah, that's why I think people should listen to our podcast, because it's all about millennial issues, and this is the kind of millennial issue that's really, going across the nation.
Exactly. This is just one of the topics we talk about. Let's switch gears and talk about one other thing that you might have seen in the news, and I really like this story. This is about a Dutch motivational speaker named Emil Ratelband, 69 years old, who wanted to change his birth date to 20 years younger. He wanted to be 49 years old. He says, listen, when you live in a time when you can change your name and change your gender, why can't you decide your own age? In fact, he felt that he was discriminated against in his life, particularly on dating apps, that he couldn't get the kinds of dates he wanted because of his age. Here's him talking a little bit more about it.
When I'm really 49 again, I will have a baby again. I will buy a new car again. I will paint my house again. I'm going outside and I invest my money again. Because now I'm old man, I have to save my money to give to my kids so they can live. But if I have that age again, I have hope again. I'm new again. And the whole future is there for me again.
All right, I can watch this guy like all day. My question is, the court obviously said to him, you can't change your age, right? There's too many legal problems. He makes an interesting point, though. If people are changing in today's day and age, if he feels that he's younger, and his argument is, well, it's the same thing for people in the transgender community and people who get sex operations. If they feel that they were born the wrong way, why can't I make a change?
So, what people in the transgender community are saying is it's medically different than it is for age. Age, this guy just thinks he's different, but for some transgender people, like they, mentally are feel like they're in the wrong body. This guy, the court says that he can feel free to act like he's 49, but legally it would destroy certain agreements that he was in, records, etc.
This guy is doing this just to get girls. I mean, that's really what he's doing. And, he's saying, I have the body of a 49-year-old man. not a 69-year-old. He wants to get better attention on dating apps. It's a little different.
So I looked to, like, I was wondering, in the United States, what if someone wanted to do this? So obviously you're not able to do that in the United States either. But the only way that you can change your age is if you have certain proof that there was a mistake when, during your birth certificate or that sort of thing.
How old do I look?
Probably 15, I would say.
I was going to say 16 for you, so, it's fine. I act like I'm 8 years old, so it doesn't really matter.
And what if somebody wanted to do the opposite? Like, say they were 25 and wanted to be 75.
Why would somebody want to do that unless they're insane?
Get the early bird special,
I eat dinner at 5:30, and I don't need to be 75 years old, because specials are specials, you know what I mean?
Well, apparently it's...
What's wrong with eating dinner early?
Nothing's wrong, but apparently it's illegal, so...
Yeah, well, what happens if there was no age? So imagine, like, we just did away with age.
Well, there's a problem, like, because drinking laws are based on age.
Once you turn
driving
18,
laws,
but once you turn 18, everybody can just...
And after that? Running for office, you have to be a certain age.
Forget that. I'm saying you turn 18, everybody's just judging you based upon your personality and how you look. That's it.
I mean, maybe that would be for the best. Maybe they should reevaluate our system here.
Clearly, some of the debates that we get into. Andrew, when can you listen to us?
So our new episodes come out on Wednesdays, and we have a great episode. Our new episode's tomorrow, and next week we'll be having an episode with both of our dads coming on.
I know.
We're discussing some heavy-hitting legal topics there.
And they're going to be like, why did we come on to do this?
Yeah, why did we do this?
Andrew, thanks for coming on. I can't wait to do the podcast with you next week.
Good seeing you.
All right, everybody, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.